Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and this is Egalt the Master Dragon, one of the brand new January 2024 LEGO Ninjago sets, which I'm incredibly excited to showcase right now. Now this is one of the most story-focused LEGO Ninjago sets for January, which is a little bit interesting. In a wave that's primarily filled with mechs based off of upcoming shorts, this is one that directly ties into the TV show and looks to be focused on a major new character. Now at the time of this recording, this show is not out yet, so Dragons Rising Season 2 has not yet aired in the US or anywhere in the world, so I have no idea what the significance is of this story-wise, but I'll do my best to showcase this in a full review. And if you're curious, I've already reviewed every single one of the Ninjago 2024 sets on this channel, which you can check out right now. But of course, let's now focus in to Egalt the Master Dragon. This is set number 71809, Egalt the Master Dragon. It retails for $70 US, 70 euros, or 60 British pounds, and comes with 532 pieces, as well as 5 minifigures. One of those minifigures, Nia, has an opportunity to swap out the hair for the hood element, which I really wish they also included for Lloyd and Sora. It's a little bit strange how she's the only one that got it, but it is still nice to get it for at least one of them. Out of all the minifigures included in the set, many of them are exclusive for now, but will be appearing in sets coming out later in March, and I believe that none of these figures will end up actually being exclusive to this particular set. As it is, Egalt the Master Dragon is one of the major story-based sets that came out in January 1st of this year. It is actually one of the only ones that is particularly relevant to the main storyline, with the rest of the wave being comprised of mechs, which may appear in the main show, but are primarily focused on just introducing younger kids to Ninjago, similar to Ninjago Core. Now the build itself is focused on Egalt the Master Dragon himself, who is going to be a brand new character in the TV series. It also comes with a small side build featuring the Gong of Shattering, a powerful relic relevant to Season 2 of the show, as well as one of the hammers to strike it. The Gong itself is a new print for the shield element, the same one used for Captain America and LEGO Marvel superheroes, but it's a really interesting way to depict a gong, and I personally really love the way that the ornate detailing appeared on the shield itself. It's just a really cool piece. The side build for the foliage inside of the wildness is alright. I think it's a fairly simple Ninjago style side build, much like the ones we've gotten in the past, but just another one to add to the collection. Starting off with the minifigures, I'm going to go through these as quickly as I can because I'll be doing a separate video showcasing all the minifigures. Lord Raz returns this time from the Season 1 wave of Dragons Rising, this time sporting brand new purple robes and a recolor of the Stone Warrior armor piece introduced for Ninjago in 2013, which has since appeared in a lot more characters. Now, Lord Raz unfortunately does not have printed arms for this particular set. I do not know if he will be getting them in a larger set in the future, but as of right now, he is having unprinted arms unlike his prior appearance, but I really do like the appearance of the robes. The metallic silver looks really good in contrast with the purple and black, and I like how he is one of the only figures this wave to have a predominantly black color scheme as opposed to the dark blue of most of his minions. There is a new Master of Smoke in town, and that is Cinder here. Who knows what happened to Ash, but this is our first time getting Cinder in minifigure form. He seems to be a brand new villain with a transparent black head, which is really cool to see a head in this particular color. He has two different facial expressions, one of which where you can see most of his face, and the other of which has his mouth covered up in smoke, which I think is personally the cooler look because the smoke itself is metallic silver. Unfortunately, Cinder does not have a specialized torso piece directly for himself. Instead, this torso piece is shared amongst Raz's lieutenants, including Jordana, who appears in another one of the sets. Cinder, however, is a very cool looking minifigure. I cannot wait to see him in the show. I love the fur piece that is used. The hair being recolored from the Joker's hair in the LEGO Batman movie is phenomenal in light gray, and you can use it for Twitchy Tim as well. Moving onwards to the heroes, Sora is unfortunately unchanged from her Season 1 appearance. They seem to be doing the same thing with the new characters as they did with Nia when she first became a ninja, where she'd get a new suit for 1 year, but the next year or wave she'd had to use the same suit. So they are just sticking with the original one. I personally really wish that the ninja, especially the new characters, got as much love and focus as the existing characters in terms of getting new suits, but as of right now, this is the only one that we're getting. It's a really good minifigure. I love the arm printing, and I think the figure design is phenomenal. It's just a shame that it hasn't been updated for the new year. Moving onwards, we get Lloyd in his mech pilot outfit, who will also be appearing in Lloyd's mech coming out in March. Now, there is a brand new dual molded hood component here. You can see this one is in the green and dark green coloration, and he is just using the same exact face that he used for the first wave of Dragon's Rising sets, so you can turn that around and get some sort of an energy mask, which so far has not even appeared in the show yet, but it might be appearing at some point. One thing I really do like about this mask in particular is that you can actually swivel their heads with the mask on. That was a major complaint of the Dragon's Rising suits, where, as you can see here, you can't really turn the head whatsoever because the hood is integrated into the armor itself. It's cool to get armor, but when it's integrated with the front mask, it basically makes it impossible to get these minifigures into poses unless you're just looking straight forward. So I really do appreciate the amount of wiggle room you get with being able to turn Lloyd's head. Now, the mech pilot outfit is alright. To me, the gold on Lloyd's looks pretty solid, and overall, it's a cool looking figure. Nia, strangely, is depicted on almost all of the box art without her hood and with the dual molded hairpiece. I guess that maybe for marketing purposes, the set designers wanted to make it clear that there is a female character included in the set. I don't really know why that was the case, but for whatever reason, she is having her hairpiece specifically. Lloyd doesn't get one, Sora does not get one, but Nia does. I'm not complaining, but I also now wish that we actually got hairpieces for the rest of them. Now, Nia's mech pilot armor is also pretty nice, but I definitely feel that the gunmetal gray does clash a little bit with the gold. Having so many different colors with the dark red, the azure, the gold, the gunmetal gray, just mixed together in the one figure does make it feel a little bit cluttered, but I do like how a lot of the dark red is kept restrained to the waistband, which makes it feel a little bit better in my opinion. Moving onwards from that, though, we can take a look at the main build of the model itself, which is Egalt the Master Dragon. This was described to me during LEGO Fan Media Days back in September as a new major character for the show, and the first time that the ninja would actually be having a dragon as the mentor itself. Now, Egalt has a brand new molded piece for the upper part of the head, which is a really nice looking one. You can open and close the jaw like so, and personally, I will say that I'm kind of more partial to the LEGO Dragon head builds that integrate molded pieces like this, but actually have a fully brick-built molded component behind them. Something like Lloyd's Legendary Dragon, which in my opinion is the best Ninjago Dragon set. Egalt, unfortunately, is just using the standard 1x3 clip elements, so it definitely does make the jaw feel a little bit loose and not necessarily super well attached to the upper part, but it's something I can kind of excuse because at least for this one, they made it a little bit more interesting by having these triangular Nexo Knights pieces go on the inside of the jaw, just helping make it feel a lot more fleshed out, rather than just having nothing there, which would look very, very strange. Now, Egalt himself has a nice Master Wu style kind of rice hat right here, which I think is really nice. Would have been cool to get that printed like they have done in the past for Lloyd's Golden Mech, but I think it works okay for the character itself. I really love the integration of the mustache here. It's just really, really solid, and the molded design on the headpiece is really, really good. Now, one thing that I also really like about Egalt is the way the wings are done. Now, personally for me, when it comes to LEGO Dragons, I always prefer it when they have fabric wings. If you can't have fabric wings, the vinyl or vinyl pieces will do just fine as well, and my least favorite are the blades because they just don't really feel like standard fleshed out wings. Here we actually get a customized cut for the fabric component, which is really solid. I'm really glad that we were able to get that for this particular character, and the wings are mounted on ball joints here. The unfortunate thing is that because of the way they are mounted on the Bionicle Hordika neck pieces, they tend to kind of clash together when you try to flap the wings higher than this, so you can't really get the wings higher than this position because the way they're mounted will just hit each other, but you can bring them down, you can bring them backwards like this, like the wings are folded back against his body, which is actually a really good look. I actually really like the way that this is done, or you can spread them outwards. It's just a little bit trickier to get it into a flying pose because, while you can bend them upwards, that then also means they have to bend backwards like so. Still, the range of articulation is pretty good. I'm fairly happy with the amount of movement you can get out of the wings, and there is a special place for a saddle as well, so if you want to place one of the characters on Egalt's back, you can stick them on right there. Taking a closer look at the body without the wings obstructing the view, it is done in a really nice manner. The usage of the quarter hemisphere pieces that were used first in the NASA space shuttle is a really great addition on the torso of this build itself, and I really love how they were able to integrate some of these white feather pieces to really just add on to the character of Egalt itself and to make the body feel much more rounded. The legs themselves are quite interesting. No knees, but that's kind of to be expected when it comes to a dragon like this. this, but I really do like how they bend backwards like so, integrating the core limb element here, but having the feet mounted on ball joints, specifically the Mixel mini ball joints, allows you to even wiggle the toes and get this in a really nice positioning. I also love the integration of just a little bit of red in the color scheme itself. Having it around the band of the torso as well as around the legs makes it feel like the red are ceremonial pieces of cloth that have been attached onto the dragon and not necessarily part of the body itself. The back legs are mounted on ball joints, so you can move those all around, utilizing the mech finger elements introduced just last year for Ninjago and other mechs. And lastly, one of my favorite features is the tail, because you can actually bend the tail back and forth and allow him to wield a sword that way. So Egalt can join the fight by holding a sword himself in his tail, which is just a really funny concept for a dragon style of build. Overall, I'm pretty happy with Egalt the Master Dragon. It definitely doesn't do anything super groundbreaking when it comes to Ninjago dragons, but for $70, it feels like okay value. Now, the one thing that I will say is that this definitely feels like by itself, it's maybe worth around 50 or 55. If this adds another 5, we can get it up to 60, and then I guess when you add all the minifigures, I can sort of see 70, but personally, I would have been much happier if the set was just a little cheaper. It's not egregiously overpriced, but I definitely do feel like they could have cut down on price a little bit and still had a pretty good set. Overall, very happy with Egalt, and I'm very excited to see where Ninjago goes in the future, especially with the larger sets coming out this year. It's good to get another story-focused set, especially in a wave that is predominantly filled with just standard mechs, which are a lot of fun, but maybe aren't having too much to do with the story itself. That's pretty much all I have to say for Egalt the Master Dragon. Thank you for checking out this review, and I'm really curious, let me know in the comments if you are going to be picking up this set, if you've gotten it already, and what your thoughts are on this brand new LEGO Ninjago set. Alright, and with that, we have summed up a brand new Ninjago 2024 review. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this set. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Are you going to be buying this set yourself? And of course, thank you so much for tuning into Duckbricks. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Thanks so much for tuning in, and bye for now.